Welcome to All Tech Radio Podcast, where we talk all things tech. My name is Robert McMillan, along with my co-host Scott Portinga. Welcome back to our podcast, Scott.
Good morning, Robert. Yeah, it's been a little while.
Been a little
Been
while, and
busy, this darn
yeah,
day job getting in the way.
as it usually does.
Yeah.
Well, I got a lot of really interesting stuff going on, some computer stuff, some mobile stuff, and I want to start out with some war. We all like to start out with some new war tech, don't we?
Some of it's pretty cool, I gotta admit.
It is, yeah. So, we know all about what's going on with Ukraine and Russia and how they're using a lot of drones back and forth. And sometimes they'll have various different tools to block the signals so the drones don't know where they're going, and other times they
Hmm.
don't. And now they have glide drones, which are like little planes that come down and anyway do horrible things. So there's some new war tech that's coming out, and it's really interesting. It's called robot swarms.
Really?
Robot swarms are coming,
Hmm.
and what's different about them? They're autonomous systems. So right now, if you have a drone, you have to have somebody on the other end with some controller, sort of like a controller for a video game, that will send that drone off to wherever it's supposed to go. But an autonomous drone that works with other drones, direct communication with them, within like near field communication, they can all fight completely on their own. You program them to tell them who to go after, and then they
Hmm.
communicate back and forth with each other to in a mesh, kind of a thing, to go after the enemy and then explode or whatever it is that they're going to do. And they're really
Interesting.
small. I mean, they're not like the big drones like the U.S. Army currently uses. So they're a collection of autonomous robots that can coordinate their actions. It reminds me a little bit of the drones that you see on the 4th of July, where a lot of cities are replacing their fireworks with drones. And
Hmm.
they kind of work together to create a picture or create, something really interesting that looks like a firework, but it really isn't. It's kind of like that, except they're going to blow you up.
Little bit different, same thing, only different.
Yeah. And it's called ants, attritable. Oh, attritable. That's weird. That's a weird word. Attritable networked tactical swarm that could transform battlefield logistics. So it's a U.S. company, obviously. I mean, hopefully, right?
It better be, yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be growing from 40 employees to 3,000. It's owned by General Motors, interestingly enough. So
Oh,
the CIA has given them some money, and they're going crazy with it.
well, back in World War II, they built tanks, didn't they?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And
They've been in the military business for a while.
Ford built most of the motors for the German army. That was nice of them.
Take the money.
Yeah. So Swarm is coming out. Ant swarms.
Wow.
Um, So the scientists have come out with an interesting new energy. Well, we've talked about fusion for a long time, right? We've had many stories about
Yep.
fusion as
The
well.
Holy
There's
Grail.
yeah, the Holy Grail. That's right, of power. It's a limitless power kind of a thing. No really appreciable type of radioactivity, small footprint. I mean, if you remember Back to the Future, they had Mr. Fusion, back when Mr.
Hmm.
Coffee was a big thing. They had Mr. Fusion where you put a banana peel in and then you had enough, energy to run the flux capacitor at that point.
Yeah, I don't even know where I put mine. It's missing my flux capacitor.
So they have come out with some new fusion technology from the Wisconsin. Does anything really exciting come out of Wisconsin lately? I mean, that's
I like their cheese.
their cheese is fantastic.
That's right.
The Wisconsin HTS Axisymmetric Mirror Research Team. Wow, that's a good. Probably
Hmm.
have some great, acronym for that. Using they were able to create and hold a plasma, which is where you're going to be drawing your electricity from, using a magnetic field strength of 17 Teslas. Now, I don't really know how much a Tesla is. I'm sure they're not talking about Tesla cars
Yeah,
here.
but 17 is a lot.
It is a lot. Well, it's more than 16. I know that. Uh,
Exactly.
So high temperature superconductor magnets. I remember when I was a teenager, they were talking about, well, superconductor magnets only work at like negative, hundreds of degrees, but
Hmm.
that number kept coming higher and higher and higher. So now they're calling it high temperature. We don't really know what high temperature, it is,
That's
but
probably 68 degrees
yeah,
Fahrenheit. That's high
probably,
temperature.
yeah. Anything above zero,
Yep.
So they were delivered to the University of Wisconsin's Physical Sciences Laboratory, and they're setting world records in magnetic field strength. So that is
Wow.
pretty exciting. Maybe we're gonna maybe we'll be alive for that, Scott. You never know.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it is a nuclear process, but it's different from fission. Fission, where you split atoms apart, where of course you're going to get a lot of radioactivity. Fusion is where you bring them back together again, and so there's a lot of power to be had. And let's see here. So they have a statement. Today's demonstration puts the compact magnetic mirror firmly back in the race towards commercial fusion energy. So it's nice that the U.S. has once again taking the lead in that. So, former Google researcher, led by a former Google researcher, a company wants to give computers, oh, you're going to love this, Scott, a sense of smell. So,
Okay.
yeah, so artificial intelligence is already able to mimic sight and hearing, but a company wants to use the technology to digitize something else, smell-o-vision. Well, that's what we used to joke about it called smell-o-vision, but
Yeah.
smell. So it's going to generate smells like we generate images and sounds.
Uh,
Yeah, as I've gotten older, I've taken a lot of nose spray for allergies and things like that. Some days
mhm.
I don't smell anything. I don't, I don't know if you don't have a lot of allergies. You probably don't have that
No,
problem.
no.
Yeah, but yeah, I have some days, my wife says, "Oh, what is that smell?" And I'm like, "No, not today. It's not a smelling day for me."
Well, I could see a good use for those for like chemical plants.
Okay.
I mean, there it could be useful to know what they're smelling.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, smoke, they usually do it based on particulates and not on actual odor. But odor might help catch it earlier than particulate matter.
Well, they are saying that not just being the canary in the coal mine, where basically you would have the canary if it keels over, then that there's a horrible thing coming towards you,
Hmm.
and before maybe humans can detect it and they can get out in time. Well, a computer could do that as well.
Yep.
So you've got that, and you've got smelling disease. They can tell a person has a disease just by smelling, and so that's interesting. Now, the most interesting thing here to me is the ability to transfer a smell. So it will detect a smell and it'll be able to send it elsewhere. So basically, I could be passing gas right now, Scott, and I could send it to you over the internet.
Let's keep your technology on the low side, okay? Oh, I was thinking of a cooking show. You could have
Okay.
cooking instruction, and you could let the chef that's in Paris
Okay.
smell your food.
Interesting. All right. So they've developed what's called an odor map for the computer to smell. You've got fruity, you've got meaty, musk, and floral. So those are the four main smells that they're trying to be able to go for with this.
But
I think there's
then
a lot more smells than that, I think.
yeah, but then on the other end, you've got to make a machine that can generate the equivalent smell that it's been picking up on the other end. There's a challenge for you.
That is, yeah, there's definitely a challenge. So we'll see how that goes, and I will keep you up to date. Did you hear the latest thing that Republicans are basically making fun of Kamala Harris about is that she eats Doritos? I don't, did you read about that?
No,
So
I
they
didn't.
asked her, what did you do after Trump won in 2016? And she said she ate a bag of Doritos. So that basically means it's
Mhm,
like you're depressed, and so you're eating, a whole bunch
mhm.
of something really salty or something really fatty. Some people eat a lot of ice. I love ice cream myself,
Yeah.
so you do that kind of thing. But Doritos is coming out with something new now. Doritos is owned by Pepsi. I don't know if you knew that,
I
but
did.
I did not. So they're coming out with this canister similar to Pringles. It looks just like a Pringles canister.
Oh,
And it's going to be going up on the next time somebody goes up to the space station. Of course, we got some people up in the space station. We can't seem to get back. But
yeah, yeah. Boeing, need to have a word with you.
yeah, they're the two folks that are up there right now. They can't seem to get back. Probably be back next spring. They thought it was going to be 8 days, and now it's going to be like 8 months.
Yeah, yeah. I heard NASA was saying, well, as long as you're up there, we got some
Yeah.
stuff for you to do.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. A
Put
few
them to
things you
work.
can fix.
Yep.
Now imagine Doritos going up to the space station and the smell. I mean, that's one of the things that some of the astronauts they come back and they say the smell of the place you can never get rid of. Whatever smells added to the space station, it never goes
Mhm.
away.
Yes.
It's just there.
Hmm.
So you've got like 20 years of smell. I know.
Worse than
It's
walking into a locker room.
yeah. You imagine opening the hatch and going, oh man.
Why did I
So
agree to this?
yeah, so you're going to add Dorito smells to that. So here's
Oh,
what they're doing here to make it so it's space station friendly. Instead of having powdered salts, flavors like they
hmm.
normally do, they're replacing that with an oil-based flavor. So that way, you can't have anything break off and
Right.
have powder go everywhere. And then the other thing is they're making them smaller, bite size. So you again, you don't want
Ah,
anything cracking off and
no big crunches.
no big crunches. Yeah, you're just going to be putting that in your mouth and hopefully not choking on it and
Mhm.
eating your Doritos. So yeah, they're sending up a bunch of them on the. Can you imagine the person who comes in after that and goes, "Why does this place smell like Doritos?"
Yes. And did you save any for me?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I can't go out to the 7-Eleven and grab any.
Yep.
By the way, 7-Eleven, I didn't realize this, but 7-Eleven's been owned by a Japanese family for many years.
I
Uh,
heard
they,
that.
yeah, they got tens of thousands of 7-Elevens in dozens of countries, and now somebody in Canada is buying them, and some investment company is buying them up in Canada. So I thought, that was interesting, but
Yeah,
it's
I was hoping they'd start stock those, the 20 different flavors of Kit Kats that they have in Japan.
that would be nice. Yeah, they do have a lot
Yeah.
of interesting stuff there. Yeah.
Hmm.
My son, I think he's going there sometime this year. His girlfriend is like 25% Japanese, and so she's
Uh,
got some relatives there, and so they're going to be going, to Japan to visit with relatives. That'd be like the perfect way to go visit relatives, or to go visit Japan or any other country. Is somebody, they speak the language and they speak
hmm.
English, and they
Yeah.
know the layout of the place. So going to a new country where you don't know anybody and you don't speak the language. I don't know how people do that.
It's an adventure.
Yeah, I can. Have you gone to other countries? I don't even know.
I have. I've been to Canada, but I do speak the language, so that worked out okay.
Okay.
Although on one of the trips, I was in the far eastern end of Montreal.
Oh, they speak a lot of French there. Yeah.
A lot of French there.
A lot
Yeah,
of.
I was lucky when they spoke fluent English.
Oh, okay. Wow. So were you there for business or they're there for
Yeah,
vacation?
business. Kaspersky. I was doing the on-site Kaspersky training. I would basically
Oh,
work with.
that's right. I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
went to work with companies and train their staff on how to use Kaspersky tools.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the only time I've been to Canada is for business too. I went to IBM to get trained on some new technology.
Uh,
So yeah, it's funny. Nobody goes. It's too cold to go there just for fun, right?
yeah, Toronto was nice. And
Yeah,
Montreal was nice.
yeah,
Uh,
Toronto. Yeah, yeah. Well, which version of the Apple phone do you have? I forgot.
I have a 13 now.
A 13. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're on 15, I think.
Yeah, 15 was just released. I went with a 13 because I can switch out the card with
Oh,
another
that's right.
phone.
That's right. Yeah, because now
Uh,
they have the electronic SIM card,
yep,
so you can't really take it out. And I don't even know if you get a new phone, they just deactivate it and then activate a new one. Is that how that works?
exactly. Yeah, you got to deal with tech support to get it activated.
Ah, okay. That's interesting. Well, they're talking about the new iPhone 16 coming out soon. So you're going to be several versions behind,
As
um,
usual. Yeah.
as usual, right? But Apple's is going to release a new update, the 17.6.2, next month. and it's mostly just going to have to do with some security fixes and things like that. There's not going to be a lot of great new features. They're going to have a few new features, but they haven't really announced those yet. But they're going to fix some holes, some bugs, things like that. And then they're going to talk about releasing the next iPhone as well. Looks like the iOS 18 update, it's a couple of versions ahead. It used to be, version 3 with phone 3, version 4 with phone 4, but now
Hmm.
they're doing the software updates a little bit ahead of the versions of the phones themselves. So yeah, got some bugs to get out, and then they'll be talking
Always.
about 16. So you're going to upgrade to the 16 or stick with your 13 for a while?
I'll stick with the 13 for a while. With the cost of a new phone, I mean, it just gets ridiculous sometimes.
Oh yeah, like well over $1,000. You can spend up to $2,000 now as well. Oh, I forgot to
Yep,
tell you, I bought the Razer flip phone. Remember we talked about that last time?
that's right.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
so I have the phone that opens up. It's the Galaxy Fold, but
right.
the Galaxy Flip came out. But the Galaxy Flip was, I think, 1,400 or some crazy
Ugh,
amount of money. So they came out with something that looked just like the Galaxy Flip, but it was made by Razer. And we talked about how much we love Razer phones, years ago,
hmm.
but this particular one is got the same kind of screen, the foldable screen that you can,
Hmm.
close and stuff, but it does it in a flip instead of a fold. So it's vertical instead of horizontal.
Okay.
And I love it. It's fantastic. So I just got it because the fold phone weighs about 2 pounds with the cover on it, and it's so
Uh-huh.
big that when I put it in my pants or my coat, or I
Yep.
just look like I'm sagging.
Weighs down your shorts.
Yeah, exactly. So I got the flip because it's less than a pound, even with the cover, the plastic covers on it, and I love it.
Is
It's
it a
great.
reasonable price?
It was $540.
That's not bad. Not
That's
bad at all.
really brand new. I mean, it wasn't
Yeah,
even
for a,
used.
for a brand new smartphone. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it runs standard Android. It's all my applications came over from the other phone because I did a backup and a restore, and it works fantastic. So now I have to, because of the fact I can't use the same number twice. I whenever I decide to use it, I have to go into my Fold, which is still my main phone, and just
Hmm.
forward to the new phone, so that way anybody who
Ah,
calls the other gets the new. And I forgot to do that one time. And the one time I forgot, of course, one of my kids was trying to desperately get hold of me. Oh man, the one time I didn't do it.
hmm.
But everything's fine. But it was just, when I finally did get a hold of him, he was like, "Oh, I can't believe you didn't answer your phone."
I thought you were a computer guy.
Yeah, exactly.
You're supposed to know this stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, I do that now. Anyway, Microsoft, you've probably come across this. Microsoft, Windows 11. Have you tried upgrading any Windows 10 to 11, and you get the message saying that it will not upgrade because it doesn't have the supported stuff on it?
I usually run their little tool to assess whether it will or not before I do that.
Okay.
And there's some that I've seen that technically could take the upgrade, but they're so old. Why spend the time and money to upgrade it? You should just buy a new one. So
Yeah, I hear you.
on my own stuff, I'll do that just to play with it and see what happens, so I know. But for a client stuff, if I see it as something that's just gonna basically spend money with no good outcome, then
Right.
yeah, I'll just
Oh,
replace it.
okay. All right. Well, there's been a workaround for that. There's been a lot of videos on YouTube and stuff where you can go in and make a registry change and fool it so it, will think it has the TPM, or just
Yeah,
ignores the trusted platform module, which is a little
I
chip.
I have used that and it's been great on the machine I used it on. I upped the RAM and did that trick, and it worked well. Still working.
Well, guess what? Microsoft recently patched it so you can't do that anymore.
Is it going to go back and
No,
assess
no,
it and
anything
say,
you've
oh,
already done will be fine. It'll be
okay,
fine.
good.
But this new patch, which is coming out shortly, it will, even if you make that change in the registry, it's still going to fail.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the minimum requirements have been this TPM chip, Trusted Platform Module, which is a little chip on the motherboard, and it does several things. One of the main things it does is like if you put BitLocker on your hard drive, it will automatically use this Trusted Platform module to do the encryption portion. So it will encrypt the entire hard drive, with the keys and all the ways to unlock it built into this little chip.
Mhm.
And if you get your computer stolen or they take the hard drive out and try to move it to another place, then it's going to say, "Oh, sorry, this thing has been locked by the TPM,"
Mhm.
and so. It's a good idea to have it. Secure boot is the other thing. You have to have secure boot turned on, which keeps malware from being loaded when you turn on your computer when the operating system boots up.
So
So those are the
that
two
basically
requirements.
protection against rootkits.
Yeah, rootkits. Yep, which load up before the operating system does.
Yep.
Almost everybody has secure. I mean, secure boot's been standard now for what, 8, 9 years?
Yeah, you
So
got to go out of your way to disable it.
yeah, and I have known some companies do that with Windows 10 because for some reason Secure Boot kept the computers from booting. But I
Mhm.
think that was years ago. I think all that stuff's been worked out by now. But Windows 11 requires Secure Boot and requires the TPM. But since everybody already has Secure Boot, that really hasn't been an issue, as we just said. But a lot of people either don't have the TPM turned on, because it's disabled by default, or they have version 1.0 instead of 2.0, and that one is not going to cut it when it comes to going to Windows 11. So Microsoft is really going to make it tough to use anything that's older than about 3 or 4 years old to upgrade to Windows 11. There's already videos now to get around that new patch, so I
Mhm.
think that people will still be able to do it, but
Yeah,
uh,
on the one hand, I don't like it that they're forcing people to get new hardware.
right.
But on the other hand, I know that people will be happier with that new hardware.
Yeah. Well, people like us who don't really do stupid things on their computers and don't get
Mhm.
infected, it's nice to be able to use older computers. But the
Yep.
majority of people out there who do get a lot of infections because they do dumb things,
Mhm.
then, that's going to be something that definitely will protect them.
Yep. Aunts and uncles.
Yep. Galaxy phone owners, I don't know if you've seen this as a commercial on TV, but Galaxy phone, just like the Galaxy Fold that I just showed you,
Mhm.
they are going to get a new feature. So on TV, they've been showing this feature on the newest Samsung flip phone, or yeah, flip and fold, both of them, vertical and horizontal, where you can circle something and it will automatically do a search, a Google search of
I've been
whatever it
seeing
is
the
you
ads for
circled.
that.
Yeah, that's really a cool feature. So what Samsung is doing, which is really nice, is they're allowing older phones, older flip and fold phones, to be able to do the same thing. So with the latest
Uh,
update, then it's being updated to 6.1 if you're checking your device. Not everybody's going to get it all at once. They don't usually update everybody all at once because it overloads their systems. That's
yep.
true of everybody. So most of the time they roll these updates out. Microsoft does the same kind of a thing. So
Mhm.
some people get it in certain parts of the world, and then other people get it a little bit later and a little bit later. I'm fine with being the last one to get it because that way, if anything
Oh
breaks,
yeah, exactly. Let other people figure that out.
that's right. So you have to have at least the Exynos 1480 chipset, so you can check to see that. I have an older Galaxy Fold, so I'm not sure mine will be able to do it, but I thought I was buying a Fold 4, but it turns out I have a Fold 3, which is weird. But there's
But the
almost no
price was
difference.
so good.
Yeah, it was only $400. You can buy them used on Amazon for $400 now, and it looks and works just like it was brand new. I mean, there's no. It might have been brand new. Maybe it was just never sold. I don't know,
Could
but
be.
it's a great phone. It's still my primary phone. I don't have any issues with it. And I love opening it up, and it's the size of a tablet. But
Yeah.
don't want to go jogging with that thing.
I saw some ads online for that circling of pictures thing. It
Yeah.
says, "Can your iPhone do this?"
Yeah. Well, probably, iPhone will take a look at it for a little while and then they'll come up with their own version of it. And
Hmm.
eventually they'll do it too. Well, iPhone's coming out with a folding phone in the future too. They've already, submitted some patents and they're already talking about it. So, that'll be interesting to see. Um, Do you know anybody who does streaming music, buys a streaming music device?
I've got clients, like Sonos devices.
Yeah, yeah, and they probably use it for
Yeah,
on-hold music and maybe background music.
exactly. Background music in their offices. A lot of dentist offices use those.
Oh, okay, okay. But I don't know if anybody uses it personally because all you have to do is say, to your Echo or your Google Home device,
E-
play
Exactly.
whatever it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, but anyway, Blue Sound is a streaming music device. I don't know if you've heard of that one or not,
I
but
have not.
they've come out with some new models called the Node Nano and Node Icon. They could have come up with some better names on that. I mean, that's yeah, that's going to cause some confusion. So yeah, anyway, they're coming out with some entry level streaming devices and some higher end streaming devices. For wireless music streaming and features a 5-inch full color display that pairs with various different speakers through using Bluetooth. So
Huh.
that'd be pretty neat, I think, to be able to do that and have a whole
You should
sound
buy one
system.
and test it and get back to us.
Yeah, yeah. But have your whole sound system be completely wireless. You plug your speakers into the wall, obviously into AC, and then you
Hmm.
plug this thing in AC, but they don't have to all be connected to each other. So your whole system is all wireless. Wi-Fi to get the music in, and then Bluetooth to get the music out to the
Hmm.
speakers. That sounds pretty interesting. I don't think I get it for my home just because if I want music, I'll just tell my Echoes to play whatever it is I want.
Exactly.
Yeah, I connected my one of my Echoes to a sound system and like a 1980s sound system that
Hmm.
uses, I did a conversion for the RCA jacks into the type of jack that the Echo uses, and then I connected those to Bose speakers, and I just tell it what to play, and it just plays it. It's really great. Doesn't
Good
cost
sound.
anything. I get to use 40-year-old technology with it, and it works just fine.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
absolutely. I'd like to see technology used and not just discarded.
yeah, yeah. Well, so the first time I got it all connected, I was cranking some Eagles because I'm old, and so I was cranking some, and my son yelled from the other room, "Turn that down! That's too loud."
Yeah, we had to put up with it when you were a kid. You're going to put up with this.
That's right. Um, yeah, Fitbit watches, they make a pretty good watch. They've been around for a while.
Hmm.
But have you've had a Fitbit, haven't you?
I had a Fitbit years and years ago, not for quite a while.
Yeah, yeah, I did too. So I was at some convention conference or something, and they always have these giveaways, and you have your ticket, and they call out your number and stuff. So anyway, I was
Hmm.
really hoping to get this Fitbit smartwatch because my wife really wanted to get one, and one of the people I was sitting with, he got it. He won it, and I said, "Hey, you mind? I'll buy that off you if you want." And he said, okay, because I've already got one. I don't really need another one. My kids all have them. So sure, $20. I'm like, whoa, okay.
Okay,
It was worth probably, a couple hundred. So I
I'll
give,
take two at that price.
and I told him, I said, this is worth a lot more. Are you sure you don't want any more? No, no, just give me $20. So I give him $20. He gives me the watch. Anyway, my wife loved it. I mean, she wore it all the time. She tracked her steps and she tracked her sleep and she tracked everything. And finally it just became a total obsession. And she said, I think for my mental health, I'm gonna have to take this thing off. So she took it off and never went back, and she's much happier
uh,
with using it. But Google bought Fitbit a few years back. I
hmm.
did not even know this. I wasn't paying attention apparently. And now Google's saying we are shutting Fitbit down.
Ooh,
Right? Yeah, I know. No more new smartwatches. They are
oh,
done. Wow.
because they
And
want to sell you their Galaxy Watch.
yes, they do. Or the Pixel Watch, sorry.
Oh yeah,
Galaxy's by Samsung.
oh, that's true.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but it's the same thing. It's all running on Android. So
Hmm.
the new Pixel Watch 3 has come out. And the Pixel Watch 3 has got a 60 hertz refresh, which for a watch is amazing. So it's very smooth when you go from like one feature to another. Of course, it'll do all the things other smartwatches do. It'll check your heart rate, and it'll can make phone calls, and all that kind of stuff. But they have now have two sizes. They have a large size for those of us over 40, and they have a smaller size for younger eyes. So they've got some standout, types of cool features. They've got them a brighter display, so that makes it much easier to see. And they've got sleep quality. Let's see, watch takes in data from the previous day's cardio to determine a readiness score for the day to let you know if you're ready for a great workout or not. So it starts out with a little message at the beginning of the day letting how you're doing. You're on death's door, don't do anything, or or
We're
you're ready
calling
to
an
do a workout.
ambulance. Just sit there and wait.
Yeah. Or you're ready for your last workout.
So make those numbers good.
Yeah. Of course, it has a camera in it.
Camera in it. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And
See, with mine, I can take pictures with my phone remotely, but I can't. There's no camera in my.
so you push a button on the watch, and it takes the picture on the phone. Is that it?
Right. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, this is built in, to the watch itself, which is cool. And then it will also, if you use Google TV, it will also act as a remote.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Kind of interesting stuff. So all those kinds of things are built into the latest Pixel 3. Yeah. So if you're interested in that, you can go spend gobs of money on a Pixel 3. I don't even know what it costs, but it probably varies by whether you go to Amazon or go to a store or something.
Sky's the limit.
That's right. The sky's the limit. Well, that's all I got in the technology news for this week, but it's been a very interesting week. Lots of new stuff going on. I'm sure we'll have more going on with our next episode. And Scott, you have anything new and exciting to talk about?
Yeah, there was something about AI that I was going to complain about last time, but then we put off doing the show because we were both busy, and I forget what it was. I'll take notes next time.
All right. Well, write it down next time. All right. We got another fun and exciting Alltech Radio Show podcast. We'll see you again next time.